What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed, the series where I cover all of the lines of sight, wall runs, as well as any other secret spots that I know of on every map in Black Ops 3. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the map Breach. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so Breach is a map that's really all about head glitches and wall runs, so we're going to be doing a lot of counter spots to the really common head glitches, using our own head glitches here. So it's kind of fighting fire with fire, and I'll show you some of the less obvious wall runs as well. So first off, over by the A flag here, there's this statue, and people love to spawn trap by head glitching this right here. They'll watch here, and they'll make sure you can't come through this doorway or this doorway at all. And if they're on this side right here, and you're spawning right behind this big unit here, I don't know what this thing is exactly, some sort of a air conditioning unit or something. If you jump right up on top of this, and you like there's a regular part of the railing, then you strafe over onto the post here. There you go. Perfect line of sight on that. Crouch to take cover, stand up. You can easily pick them off there. And this is just great if you want to be a little bit more cautious. You know that the enemies are pushing you back into your spawn, and you spawn like right here, for instance. Just spawn in, jump up, strafe over on top of that little post, and there you go. Great line of sight on that to be able to pick him off before you move on. So next up, right over by the A flag here, this is a really obvious wall run, and it doesn't really play a key role in too many game modes, except for uplink, because there's an uplink portal right there. And if you want to try to run the ball through, and you try to run on this wall run, they have a line of sight on you for such a long time as you run across there and try to jump into the portal. So instead of running on this side of the wall run, I just highly recommend running on the back side of this billboard thing. Just like that, and then jump into the portal. Of course, you're still going to be exposed once you jump off the backside, but at least they don't have a line of sight on you the entire time that you're wall running across this, because you'll be hidden on the backside of that. Now, one more line of sight, if you happen to spawn back here and you have enemies that are putting pressure from that side, they'll often come to that yellow barrel right there, because there aren't really that many great counters to that. Like, you can come around the corner here, but they have better cover than you do, and they'll basically just sit there and try to spawn trap you here. So if you do spawn back in this area here and you think somebody might be pushed to that white barrel or yellow barrel, or you know they might be there, just hop on top of this, and right there you can just see their head very easily, and they don't usually look back this far, so you should be able to pick them off there pretty easily. Now right here is a pretty cool wall run spot. I don't know how practical it actually is, but for the snipers out there that like to go for trick shots, or maybe like on an opening route on search and destroy or something, you can jump up to this wall run here, jump up nice and high, and there you go. You get a nice line of sight towards that head glitch area over there where there's always going to be people sitting and sniping. It's going to be a difficult shot to hit, but if anything, you can just use it as a check spot. So just make sure you get up nice and high. You have lots of time to check that, especially if you just kind of hover up top there by using your thruster. Now getting over towards the middle of the map, to counter that area we just got that line of sight on, the people that head glitch on there, or they'll sit inside the doorway there, and they'll basically try to counter the people that are standing right where I'm standing here, or they'll counter the people that are all the way back in the window here. All of these are pretty much fair gunfights. Like, it's going to be back and forth. This is exactly where they expect you to be, and it's kind of a 50-50 chance of winning that gunfight. So instead, what I like to do, it's a whole lot less predictable, is just come right back to this corner and look at that. You have a great head glitch over top of this, and this isn't usually where they're paying attention to, so it's so much easier to pick off these kills on those people there, because they're not even looking for you in this corner. A nice thing about this also in domination is while you're watching this, you can also kind of keep an eye out on the B flag, and you can see them as they come through that doorway. You do have to be alert here because obviously they see you too if they're paying attention, so it's just a great spot that will allow you to potentially snap over to the B flag area if they start pushing through that building. Now, if you want to get a line of sight into that doorway over there, which is where a lot of people like to sit at the beginning of games and even in the middle of games, from this spot right here, just jump up on the railing, and there you go. Nice line of sight there. You can crouch to take cover, stand up. You have a great line of sight. Just keep in mind you now are exposing yourself quite a bit to the people that are up top there. Another variation, there's a ton of these spots that I'm going to be showing you in the middle of the map here, is when enemies are coming through that area there, you can simply hop up here and crouch. This gives you pretty good cover. Just keep in mind it's not solid cover, so they can spray through this and still kill you pretty easily, but they don't usually look for you right here, so it's a good way to control this area as long as you know you're safe from all of that area there. Another option that's really sneaky and kind of nice for search and destroy as well, because there's a bomb site right in here, is if you lay down right here, you get a nice line of sight on that bomb site area, and if you plant the bomb in the right place, you can use this as a bomb angle and you can just easily spray those people down. Obviously, you're laying in the middle of the map though, so It is very situation dependent, and you obviously don't want to do this if you don't know where your enemies are, if you think they might be coming from the middle of the map. they'll just catch you off guard as you're laying right out in the open. So just be aware of that. This also works from this side here. Just wanted to point that out. So you can do it from here or from over on the other side. Now, something that's just really simple that I like to do, I do this all the time, pretty much every time I play this map. When I know enemies are coming from that direction there, most people will like walk around this corner like this, right out into the open. There'll be guys up in the window and guys in here, and they'll just get picked off real easily. So instead, I prefer to jump more so along this way here. It gives me just a little bit of a better chance because they're not usually expecting it. They're aiming more so over here. They might catch a glimpse of you as you do that, but at least it's better than you walking right into their sights here. Another option is to simply jump up onto this railing here, and if you just walk forward, you'll automatically kind of mantle up onto this thing here. This is great to get a line of sight there, as well as over top towards that doorway there. But again, this isn't solid cover, so they can easily shoot through it. This also works going this way. It's not quite as practical because they have this area here, and all it takes is somebody to come up there to pick you off, but if you do jump up on here, there you go, get a little bit of a line of sight into that room there. Now, right over on this part right here, a lot of people will sit behind this and they'll kind of watch through there and watch towards the window and stuff. And it's not a terrible spot, but they usually expect you to be there. If you jump up on the railing right here, that opens up this line of sight now, so you can see in towards there. Just keep in mind you are kind of exposed to the guys in the window, so you just have to be kind of quick on your feet. If somebody comes to the window, you just kind of strafe off and fall off the railing in the right direction. You don't want to go off that way. But if you do that, then you can easily take cover from those guys there. But this gives you a great line of sight into that broken wall area. Now, right here is one of my favorite wall runs to use. I've been using this since launch, and I absolutely love it from getting from one end of the map to the other, undetected, most of the time anyways. Basically, you just go nice and low on the wall run down there. So I'll start it off over here, because this is often what happens. I'll come off spawn over here, and you just want to drop down nice and low here. The lower the better, but obviously there is a point where you just die. And you wall run along like that, and then you jump up, and I often shoot guys in the back right here. It's great for opening routes, as long as you're not playing against people that expect it, because obviously if they see you coming, like if they come up to this window here and check that spot, you're dead. So it can work as a great flank route, but some people do catch on to that. Now, one little move that I like to do also with this wall run is jump as high as possible on this wall run, transfer to this one here, and then get right here like that. You just jump out into the open, and anybody that's head glitching here, they're not going to be able to adjust their aim in time to pick you off, at least most of the time. So it's a great way to counter the guys that are standing here if you find yourself over in that situation there. Just jump up nice and high, wall run across, jump out into the open, and easily pick them off. Now, right over here, there's also a bomb site right in this area right here, and this is going to be a very common spot for people to sit. I know most people know about this, but this is for those people that don't know about this. Whenever there's a bomb planted, it seems like at least one person is always jumping up and sitting in this corner to defend that bomb. So always check this spot if you're playing Demolition or Search and Destroy, because people just love it here. Now, if you find yourself over in this area of the map and you have enemies that are going to be up in this top area here, they're not coming from down here, but they're coming from out there, all you have to do is jump up on this here, and there you go. Great line of sight towards them. They usually don't have cover there, and they can't actually head glitch over top of that thing, so they have to actually come right out into the open if they want to challenge you, and you'll win this gunfight 9 times out of 10. Next up, this is a really obvious wall run right here. Everybody's using this now, but just be aware, if you didn't know this, you can jump to the outside of this as well. You can wall run on the outside of these billboards very, very easily, and that's just one way to get around instead of using the really obvious spots. Even then, though, it's probably not going to help you a ton. Also, over here, you can actually wall run all the way around like this. You can go onto the sheet metal, wall run around like that, and that might work for you in some situations. Honestly, I don't really find myself using that wall run pretty much ever, but who knows? Maybe a situation will arise and you feel like you want to use it. Now, if you find yourself in the situation here where you know you have an enemy coming through that door there, instead of standing on the white barrel like a lot of people will do, or they'll stand over here, which is pretty good, but you're still pretty predictable here. If they have a really good shot, they'll be able to pick you off there. If you just know they're coming, all you have to do is lay down right here and look through that crack. This way, they won't see you at all, you'll be able to pick them off, and they'll have no idea what hit them. Even if their shot is incredible, they can't really do anything about it. Now, I wouldn't recommend laying there all game or anything. It's just in those situations where you know an enemy is coming through this doorway. Lay down there, and they won't see it coming. Now, I said I'm not going to cover all of the obvious wall runs, but this one's relatively obvious, and most people know about it, but it's just so valuable that I had to show it in this video here. So, basically, just jump up nice and high on this wall here, and you can drop down and pick anybody off that's in this room here. Usually they're aiming like this. They won't even see you drop down on top of them, and they won't have a chance against you. So like I said, it's pretty obvious to most people, but for those of you that didn't really know about that or didn't really think of that strategy, it's very effective to pick these guys off. Now, one last thing I wanted to point out, which most people know about by now, is just in the B area here, a little spot to defend from people that are coming through that door. Just hop up on this barrel. You get great cover here. You can pick them off as they come through there, and you can also capture from this spot, which is kind of nice. Now, most people do expect this now. Most of the players that have been playing for a while, like myself, when I come in here and I know an enemy is capturing the B flag, I basically slide in and I'm instantly aiming towards that area. Or I'll purposely go all the way around for the flank, make sure I'm safe here, and then just shoot them inside here because they're completely exposed there, and they're usually looking completely in this direction here. So it is a useful spot, but most people know about it now. So that's going to wrap it up for the map Breach. Let me know in the comment section below which one of the maps you'd like me to cover next. And there's only a few maps that I haven't covered so far, so I will leave a link to the Maps Exposed playlist on the screen right here. Go and check the playlist out before you let me know which map you'd like me to cover next, because a lot of people are asking for maps that I've already covered, so please check the playlist out first, and then let me know. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.